Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot, Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds, They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost, Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we're taking a deep dive into Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. We have been covering the case since the early part of March, prior to or the day of the interview of both mom and stepdad. What we learned was there were some questionable statements made. And then we started looking into the parents, which really ruffled the feathers of the mom, more importantly, the stepdad. He felt that if we just took all the drama out of this, there's nothing here to see except a teenage boy that just simply ran away from home. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this mom and stepfather has hired some of the most vile people to assist them in locating their son. From past felons that are currently committing crimes to questionable people with questionable pasts, such as substance abuse, where one of their searchers is seen in the woods utilizing substances through a straw and a dollar bill up that person's nostrils, inhaling whatever it was that he was doing. Then you have another content creator that is filthy, which again is just representation of the people that they hire to assist them. And then lastly, one of the main supporters of the mom and stepdad has now 2 new civil actions against her, one for child custody and another one for stalking her ex-pregnant girlfriend. So, and then after that, an incident report came about where she or her other daughter put bruises on her youngest daughter's throat. Again, this just kind of embodies the type of people that are representing Sebastian's mom and stepfather. While I never criticize anybody's past, because let's face it, we all have one. It's the difference between somebody that has overcome that and has redeemed themselves versus somebody that has continuously done this throughout the pattern of their story and is continuing to do it. No redemption, no remorse, just continuing the same bad behavior over and over again, expecting different results. Sebastian Waindrake Rogers deserves better than this. He deserves the right type of people searching for him and looking for him. There has been a lot of statements made from the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And I've got to say, the inconsistency, the anger, the vitriol, and the threats and intimidation that he has posed to just about anybody and everybody searching for his son, his stepson, has me very, very, very concerned, including my own arrest. For what? For doing my job and speaking out against him, as well as law enforcement in the area. This makes you take a back seat because you see parents that are spending more time trying to shut my mouth than they are searching for their own missing child that disappeared from their own home. Why? That is the question we should be all asking ourselves, is why. We're going to be going over this case a little more in depth. I hope you stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss and a new case to bring up. I thank you all for being here. I hope you take the time before we start to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. If you would like to help me with my legal expenses, or just to support the efforts that we're doing, we have a variety of ways that you can contribute. From the GoFundMe to help me fight specifically with my legal expenses. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We have an Amazon wish list if you just want to give me a thank you item or buy something special for the Lila. Again, this is truly a family, and we've truly come together for the sake of Sebastian Waindrake Rogers. And we're going to continue to fight for him. And we're going to continue to expose the mom and stepdad's weird behaviors and inconsistent statements. and we're going to expose those around them that are doing nefarious things to prevent the search or Sebastian being found. I hope you guys support all the creators that have come together to say no to this nonsense and to keep Sebastian first and foremost. God bless each and every one of you watching this, and have a great day.
What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope the signal is coming in great for you guys. I hope everything is going well this beautiful Tuesday morning while I am working tirelessly to bring you some new information and new content related to a case that we've been covering for a significant amount of time. The Crystal Rogers case we have been covering since 2021 here and there. And I hope you guys go and check out some of the work that we've done previously. I know a lot of you guys may have missed this next, hold on, there we go. That might have missed the video that I put out yesterday. So I wanted you guys all to see it related to the Crystal Rogers case. We're going to do things a little bit differently this morning. And we're going to start off with Sebastian's case and then end with Crystal Rogers' case. But I'm going to start with the Crystal Rogers video. I hope you guys do enjoy it. It was some work to be out here. It's awfully cold here in Kentucky, and but we are making it through. So, the chilling mystery of Bardstown, Kentucky. Nestled in the heart of Kentucky's Bardstown is a picturesque small town known for its historic charm, urban distilleries, and close-knit community. With a population just over 13,000, it's the kind of place where neighbors know each other by name and violent crime is a rarity, or at least it should be. But beneath the town's scenic beauty lurks a dark, haunting mystery. Over the past decades, a series of brutal and unsolved murders have shattered Bardstown's sense of security, leaving its residents gripped by fear and suspicion. From the assassination-style killing of a dedicated police officer to the brutal slaying of a mom and daughter and the disappearance of a young mother whose family was systematically targeted, the unsolved tragedies paint a chilling portrait of a town that may hold more secrets than it lets on. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. Good morning, guys. Bullhorn Betty. We're here in Bardstown. Just behind me is the Bardstown City Police Department, as well as Nelson County Sheriff's Department. And this is where the Jason Ellis case, as well as the Crystal Rogers and Tommy Ballard case, kind of begin. Crystal Rogers is a mother of 5 beautiful kids that went missing on the July 4th weekend in 2015. Her boyfriend, Brooks Houck, came under heavy scrutiny about her disappearance back in 2015, but for whatever reason, the case went cold. Well, this particular case just heated up most recently in September with the very first arrest of a gentleman by the name of Joseph Lawson. This is an employee of Brooks Houck. Brooks Houck was later arrested after Joseph Lawson, and the case kind of died out. There was some major shocks in the case when the state prosecutor, Brooks Houck's bail hearing, tells the judge that his brother, Nick, might have been the one that shot Crystal's father, Tommy Ballard. If you're unfamiliar with this case, Crystal is a beautiful young lady that disappeared in 2015, and her father went out looking for her and searching and was probably finding evidence about what happened to his daughter. Well, during a hunting, what many thought was a hunting accident on Tommy Ballard's property, he was shot to death. And apparently during this bail hearing for Brooks Houck, it was alleged that his brother, Nick, may have killed Crystal's father.
Today in court, prosecutors said they believe they have the gun used to kill Tommy Ballard now, connecting the investigation with the death of his daughter, Crystal Rogers.
Waiting for testing to come back on the firearm we believe was used to murder Tommy Ballard, a firearm that we purchased from Nicholas Houck, who was using a fake name when he sold the rifle.
This case has a lot of twists and turns, and that's not it. In 2013, an officer was ambushed. His name is Jason Ellis. And people are starting to feel that this Jason Ellis is connected to this particular case with Crystal Rogers and Brooks Houck. All right. Well, thank you for allowing me to bend your ear just a little bit. And as promised, we're going to start with a Sebastian Rogers case because there's a lot to discuss this morning. One situation is this is absolutely 100% a criminal investigation. And I'm so sorry that Nick Barris missed the memo from Brandon Carter back on January 25th of 2025. This year, they started opening up a little more and not being so closed off. That's why you're seeing a little more activity. Now, I know people are in the chat worried about me. People don't dictate to me where I go and what I do. I walk into the belly of the beast every time I go out and cover a case. So this whole idea of somebody trying to get me arrested at another vigil, I doubt law enforcement. They were catfished one time, but as you guys can see, law enforcement has their eyes wide open, okay? They're no longer playing this nonsense anymore. They're being very specific and very direct to the likes of the people that the mom and stepdad have incited to help them. They're done. Law enforcement has been very vocal. Anytime BS comes out, they immediately come out and address the BS. The whole thing with the unscrupulous PI and the crap that he's trying to fish for. All he's trying to do is fish for what law enforcement has. Nothing more, nothing less. He's trying to change the narrative. He's trying to find a plan B.
and he's trying to find a narrative that can be used in a court of law. We're not done. That's why we're telling you guys to stay away from these people, and have told you from the very beginning to stay away from these people. These people are no good. Let's look at their track record versus our track record here on the Bullhorn Betty channel and other people that I associate with, right? So why would they be looking to have me arrested when they've told everybody that my bond was revoked? That's first and foremost, right? So if my bond's revoked, there's no need to have me arrested. As soon as I walk into Tennessee, I should be having a warrant out for my arrest. Furthermore, I have this thing called a bondsman, right? Nice gal. I don't know why they call him a bondsman, but it's a bonds lady, right? And I'm pretty sure that if she got orders for some type of revocation, I'm pretty sure she would be the first to know about it and would be making sure that she calls me so she's not out money for the bond, right? So all these things that these people have been telling you guys has been lies. Let's look at further past. Let's look past Bullhorn Betty. Let's look at the Leilani Simon and Quentin Simon case, right? These are the same people that told you that the mom fell asleep and her child drowned. We now know, because she's now convicted of the crime and went through court, that she beat her child, which is what we said. So we have this impeccable track record on these cases, including Idaho 4, where everybody was pointing at Kaylee Gonzalez and Maddie Mogan and Xana Kernodle and Ethan Chapin's friends. And as soon as we never engaged in that. Why? Because there's no evidence of it. Okay? We weren't in it for clicks and views. We're in it for the truth. We provide the truth on this channel. Do we get it right all the time? Of course not. Who does? I mean, look at Nick Barris. He just had a face plant in a pile of, cow dung last night and over the last day, right? Like, he's saying that this is not a criminal investigation. Even law enforcement is screaming that they never said that. Come on, cut it out. Give me a break. So we have Nick Barris dropping that. We have the unscrupulous PI trying to change the narrative and point to somebody that has nothing to do with this. This is at midnight. Most people, especially young teens, are coming in at midnight. Cut it out. Cut it out with that nonsense. So we have all these narrative-driven actions from, what I see from the news that have catered, so to speak, to the Proudfoots after coming out with the video that kind of hung them. It sounds to me like he was threatened to be sued, because a lot of people are talking about the 180 Nick Barris did. He's untrustworthy. And quite frankly, he says he has all these sources in law enforcement. Well, why didn't you have, you say you talked to Brandon Carter. Well, why didn't you have a copy of the email that he released on the 25th, stating the 25th of January of 2025, not back in March of 2024. This is recent. But again, it shows you that this man he's sitting there telling people he has sources, but how many people is he really talking to? Because if he's really talking to these people, then they have a right-hand, left-hand issue in this county, and that's a little problematic for me, to say the least. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much, Lady Justice. Thank you for your super sticker. Outer Banks, Hervon was, I called. Yeah, exactly. So all lies, all absolute lies. Why do they need to lie about these things? And so now we have this child behind me that's missing, right? This child behind me that's missing, and they're trying to get me ticketed for my dog. Okay, my beautiful, precious Delilah. They're literally working around the clock. So why would they? If I've got this revocation of bond, why are they even bothered, worried about Delilah? As soon as I get there, they can just call 911 and boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, they don't need to worry about Delilah, right? Because they told the whole world I have my bond revoked from their sources. A lot of people have these sources that they keep saying, because when us people that really do have sources that feed us information, they think we just pull it out of our butts. They don't realize that they're actually legitimate people feeding us information. So they try to pull the same thing. Oh, I've got sources. Okay, well, how's those sources doing? Sounds like your sources are wrong. I'm just saying. Right? Aw, Melanie, thank you so much as always. Oh, I forgot to finish my thing here. Okay, well, Outer Banks donated 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you received your 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships or your 1 Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Outer Banks thank you and welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Ah! Okay, I think I got it. Outer Banks is probably laughing at me. I almost forgot to give you the whole package. Okay, I'm sorry, Outer Banks. I almost shortchanged you. Okay, I don't have the button, but I'll be the human button for today. Happy Tuesday, Delilah, mods, and chat. Love to you, Betty, and everyone else. Aw, thank you, Melanie. That is super, super sweet. And Kimberly, thank you so very much for that super sticker. So before we get started, I did want to bring up the newest at night post. I'm pretty sure other people have went through this because, naturally I'm traveling. I'm not really paying attention. Well, I am paying attention to the case, but it's hard for me to stop what I'm doing and start diving in. But this is important, and this is important about the integrity of this case. So we are stopping what we're doing, and we are going to address the things that I see wrong. We definitely know it was a fishing expedition that the unscrupulous PI was doing on behalf of his clients. As you guys can tell, it sounded like law enforcement came right out and put a kibosh on the BS. That tells me a couple things. As quickly as they turned around and put a kibosh on it, it sounds like they know exactly what happened. That's just the first and foremost of my assessments on how quickly that statement came out. So it doesn't seem like they're going to be catfished or railroaded anymore. It sounds like Sumner County had some truth serum provided to them. So I can be Delilah's bodyguard. Aw, thank you, Gypsy. Thank you. Yeah, she's fine. And the funny thing is these people know that the real Me Too bought me a car seat for the dog. I mean, it was literally, you could see right as I was driving. I went back. Well, actually, let me find the video. Hold on. Let me just show you. Let me just show you how stupid these people are. And you guys know I do not, and I repeat, do not. Okay, let me see if I can get the angle just right when I turn it back around. Hold on. There it is. I think that's the angle I need. Let's go back, get my hand down. Ah, there it is. Perfect. Perfect. I got a perfect shot. Here, let me just put everybody to rest because they're going to go, oh, she's just lying. She's just lying. Okay. Let's go ahead and prove it real quick. You see this thing right here? This thing right here that everything's sitting on right here, that right there is a dog seat, okay? And if you can see that, you can barely see it, but the straps are actually around this headrest, and there is an actual seat belt that goes through the straps, okay? It's a nice fuchsia pink. I know you're only seeing the grade cream color on the front, but it's a very, very expensive, handy-dandy, beautiful dog seat. And not only is it a dog seat, but it actually has this attached leash to it that will restrain the dog. Oh my gosh, these people are just winner chicken dinners all day long. Can we say failure loud enough? I want to see the entire chat type in failure in big capital lock words with exclamation marks, because we need to make sure that the hate channels understand how much of a colossal failure they are and will always be. Okay? We've been going through this now for 4 years. They've made absolutely no headspace. No, it's not a Caroline. I reviewed the Tennessee law, and it is absolutely sufficient under Tennessee law. So, again, just in case the hate channels can't hear loud enough, there you go. Okay. So I thought I would bring some receipts, those things that they say we don't have over here, when it's always them that never brings the receipts, because all you see is their little squares. They never really present anything unless it's a narrative, misinformation, disinformation narrative. So I just thought I'd throw the receipts out there because, you guys saw the actual dog seat as I was driving up. It was in the shot the whole time. It was in the shot the whole time. So don't worry about Bullhorn Betty. I really don't think law enforcement is going to sully Sebastian's 1-year milestone for the likes of these effing failures at life. Okay. I would say flop at life, but I think the unscrupulous PI was just really deflecting, so we'll let him keep that for himself. At Night Private Intelligence has come out with a statement here I thought was important, and I thought we would read it together. Maybe some of you guys know it, maybe some of you guys don't know it, but here it is. This came out yesterday. Today, our nation weeps as we stand at the 1-year mark since Sebastian Wayne Rogers, 16, vanished from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee on February 25th, 2024. And I'm going to stop right there, because that's another thing that the Bullhorn Betty channel got right. In the face of opposition, where everybody was calling us a liar, we used our common sense to figure out when the last time Sebastian Wayne Rogers was seen. We determined here on this channel it was February 25th, long before anybody else. We've also, and everybody, one of you guys have watched these people come in here and call me a liar and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about with the case. And I always tell these people, I'm going to circle back to you, because I know the work that I do. I know the commitment I put into these cases. And I know when I have a statement or an analysis that I believe is fact, I will defend that to every ounce of me. And with the good work of the people out there, the community at large, as well as social media, constantly keeping the pressure on law enforcement to clarify this, we got clarification and the proper date, which NamUs has always had correctly, by the way. NamUs is the department, the United States Department of Justice. They have a database of all missing and unfound people. And those are all listed in NamUs. And again, they've never changed the date. Their date from the beginning has always been February 25th. My date from the beginning has, outside of the first few weeks when I didn't know anything, it wasn't until I looked into the information, we did our fact finding, and we listened to law enforcement over and over again repeat the same thing, where it was very clear that the only person reporting seeing this child after 6:30 was this child's mother, which I deem for my own personal reporting as the primary person, the person of interest and primary suspect in the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Rogers. That's my personal assessment. I don't know what law enforcement has assessed her, but I have to say, as quickly as they are responding now, I think they're done playing games with the Proudfoots as well as their entourage of misfits and felons. That's just my personal opinion, but I guess only time will tell, and we will, again, circle back to that. So this brave 15-year-old American boy, full of light, living with autism, and cherished by all who knew him, disappeared after a simple dinner in his own neighborhood, simple dinner in his own community, wearing a black hoodie and sweatpants. His absence has ripped through the heart of his family, his small town community, and every single parent across this land who knows the fierce, sacred love we have for our children. LJ, it's nice to see you. It's been a while, love bug. Hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for that. This tragedy, I need to get back on the right page because I'm on this page. I guess I can move it up. This tragedy strikes at the core of every American family, from the rolling farmlands of the heartland to the bustling streets of our city, from Tennessee's quiet streets to every kitchen table where parents pray for their kids' safety under God's watch. We are a nation built on America first, kids love, lives first, a nation that stands tall, united, and unyielding in the face of darkness. Sebastian's story isn't just a missing child's case. It's a gut-wrenching wake-up call for every mother, father, and patriot who believes in protecting our own, defending our values, and fighting with every ounce of strength to bring our children home safely. This is every parent's deepest nightmare, but it's also our greatest mission: to rise as one, refuse to let evil win, and restore hope to our homeland. We will not back down, not now, not ever. Today, we are raising the reward to a staggering $347,000 for any information leading to Sebastian's safe return, because every life matters and every child's safety is our sacred duty. If you've seen him, heard a whisper, or have the smallest shred of a tip, I'm begging you to step forward now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. Contact Sumner County Sheriff's Office at 615-451-3838, the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND, or reach out directly to Dog the Bounty Hunter at 833-TELL-DOG, which is 833-835-5364. You can also email Most Wanted at manhunts.one or text 844-922-3236. Your voice will be the one that brings Sebastian back to his family's arms. Parents of America, hear this call. Activate now with every fiber of your being. Share this post far and wide. Pray with all your heart for Sebastian's safe return and keep his face etched in your mind and soul. Flood our towns, our churches, our communities with unwavering hope and relentless determination. Together, we can make America safer, stronger, and more united, putting our kids and our lives first, standing firm for justice and refusing to rest until Sebastian is home. Sebastian, we are here, we are searching, we are fighting for you with every breath of our bodies. I thought that was really, really sweet. And one thing I never quite read is this area here, and this has some valuable information. And this says the disappearance of Sebastian Drake Rogers marks 1 year, and the search for him remains active. On February 25th, 2025, the reward for information leading to Sebastian's safe return was increased to $347,000 with the assistance from Dwayne Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman. Sebastian was last seen February 25th, 2024 in the Stafford Court area of Hendersonville, Tennessee. At that time, he was 15 years old, stood 5'5", 5 foot 5 inches tall, and weighed approximately 120 pounds, and that is inaccurate. We have learned that his last assessment, he was only at 113 pounds. He has blonde or brown hair and brown or hazel eyes. He was last seen wearing black sweatshirts and black sweatpants and black square-framed glasses. Sebastian has autism and other medical conditions that may impair his ability to return to work safely without assistance. Intelligence gathered over the last year suggests Sebastian expressed feelings of unease leading up to his disappearance, making it critical to investigate his final known movements, including his time at the Texas Roadhouse in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And then it reiterates all the contact information on that. So hopefully, if you guys have seen Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, you will, come forward. This is some significant amount of reward money here for anybody that can help aid in the return of this child and or the successful prosecution of those responsible. Again, I'd have to think, and we've had many discussions on this particular topic when it comes to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. For those that are new to this case, I'm just going to give you a Reader's Digest version of this case from where I sit. This child was out for a day on Sunday. A lot of people believe that it was overexerting for him because it was a lot. Gypsy says, one month my ass. We love you, Gypsy. I don't know why it does that. I really don't know. I really don't know. Michael, all it takes is you having some information. That's a lot of money for some intel. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of money for some intel. $347,000 to find this child. That's $225,000. $100,000 was life-changing money. $50,000 was life-changing money. Now, when it came up to $250,000, that's life-changing money. Now it's almost $100,000 more. That's significant to me. That's significant. And we must be paying attention. And so must people that have critical information about this case. I can tell you, it's just not worth keeping and harboring all that information. It's just not worth it. It's not worth the potential crime that is being committed. It's not worth ruining your life over. It's really a reward to do the right thing. And everybody should do the right thing with or without a reward. Caroline reminds us again, there's also a $50,000 FBI
reward as well. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. I appreciate that. So if we were to incorporate that $347,000, you're talking about over $400,000 for somebody that's holding some information that needs to let go of it. Today's the day. I wish I had a spectacular video for you guys, but it's been a year since this child has been last seen. In a few short hours at 6:22 p.m., that's the last any third party has seen this child. It is, what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Somewhere around there, 9:30, 10:30, somewhere around there. And I got to tell you, we've got a few more hours, and this child has been missing a solid year. No parent should have to go through that, right? No innocent parent, right? No innocent parent. Aw, thank you, Truth in Time. God bless you. I appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you. It's the great group that we've got here that keeps this channel up, alive, and us going and pursuing the truth. It takes a lot more than just Bullhorn Betty, I can tell you that. I've got great moderators. I've got amazing moderators. I've got an amazing support system personally. I can tell you this case has kind of rocked my world a little bit, but you know what do you do? It's called peace through strength, right? Peace through strength. We've done nothing wrong. We're not going to act like we've done nothing wrong, and we're going to push the envelope. If they want to come and take me out for my commentary, by God, you're going to have to take me out for my commentary at a freaking visual, a second one. I don't think law enforcement is going to be stupid enough to do something like that. I really don't. I mean, if I was a criminal and breaking the law, it'd be one thing. But they know damn well I haven't. They know I didn't before. They know I'm not now. Me speaking on my own channel about a public interest case does not violate any type of restraining order by any stretch of the imagination, never mind the fact that they lied under oath to get the restraining orders to begin with. So we will have trial on April 2nd, and, God willing, we'll figure it out from that point forward. But I'm going to get in front of a real judge and have a real trial. My due process will not be trampled on in this county. So here's another little nugget of information. This is an unscrupulous PI kicking and screaming that he is irrelevant and law enforcement doesn't take him seriously. He tries to express that he's been taken seriously by TBI. I can tell you that couldn't be further from the truth. We're going to find, much like many things, he first started out in Tennessee on another case. They didn't know who he was. But now that they're completely aware of who this man is and how he maintains an X account and how he's not really a private investigator, he violates his private eye license consistently and often, they don't really have much to do with him. They don't have much to do with him. This video was released of an unknown person captured at 12:17. Now, mind you, this is almost 3 hours before an unknown car approaches the area. Surveillance footage was reportedly deemed irrelevant because the person that supplied it is irrelevant. And not only that, but law enforcement also has to take into consideration that he's manufactured and modified actual photos that he has presented to the public. This PI, this unscrupulous PI, has doctored images that he's produced to the public. They're aware of that. However, a scent-specific canine tracked from Sebastian's home up Safford Court through the backyard and the exact spot on Kellen Lane. But it was not his scent. It was not his scent. That has been well established since day 3, I think day 2 of this case. There is no scent of this boy. This guy knows that. This is pushing a misinformation and disinformation narrative campaign. Let's keep reading. However, a scent-specific dog tracked from Sebastian's home, and remind you, this asshole wasn't even there when these dogs tracked. He's never spoke to law enforcement, so he does not have actual legitimate information in which he can source
right? He's getting it second and third hand. What PI gets information second and third hand? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. Usually private investigators get facts, not theories. So why can't we simply get confirmation on whether law enforcement absolutely knows who this individual is or not? They have addressed it. And they also have addressed the fact that this person has been cleared 72 hours after starting the investigation, the search for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. That means by February 29th or March 1st of 2024, they have identified this person and cleared him. We are told to remain vigilant and to submit. This is a guy having a hissy fit that he did not get to capitalize off of this nonsense. He got his 15 minutes of fame from an idiot organization, right? A news organization that clearly doesn't do their own due diligence, which is a shame because it seems like it's a problem over here in Sumner County. That they just don't want to or have the desire to actually dig a little deeper. And that has been my complaint literally for forever with mainstream media, right? They love to dog social media, but I can tell you, especially me and Nick Barris, we can compare apples to apples and see that he doesn't know his ass from his elbow. And he's certainly not paying attention to the details of this case. Why? Because they only run stories. They have somebody prepare their story. Right? The little segments that you see on your news, those are prepared by somebody else. You think your news anchors actually prepare their own stories? They don't. They don't. So maybe if he actually did, 5 or 10 minutes of actual, research just on X alone, I'm pretty sure he could have answered a lot of his own information that he got wrong in his latest news article. And then, of course, I've got the idiot in chief already pulled up so he can watch him choke on every single word he says. There's a reason why I refuse to interview with this man. I don't trust him. He will take my interview, chop it up, and run a narrative with it. I don't trust him. There is literally only one local news person that I trust in Sumner County, and that's Caitlin. That's it. She is literally the only person that I remotely trust as far as mainstream media in Sumner County, period. So far, she has been searching for the truth. She doesn't just run every single story that's put on her desk. She works hard to make sure that the information is true and accurate. Now, there's been some problems. Like I didn't like the fact that she chopped my interview completely all to hell and took out all the important stuff, but doesn't mind leaving, other people leaving the fact that this unscrupulous PI calls the innocent father of this missing child a pedo. I find that disgusting. So we know mainstream media, for the most part, is not hitting the ball out of the park when it comes to this case. And I wish they would. I wish we had real investigative journalists in this community, but we don't, because it's a corrupted community. No matter how you look at it, people don't want to step on toes. And I'm sorry, but I don't know if you guys watch me on Facebook, but I'm a good person. But don't think I'm going to be nice. I have no problem being a boil on the butt of somebody. I have no problem stepping on toes. I have no problem letting people know I'm here. Never once had a problem, because we're here seeking the truth. We're not here to be friends. Okay. I've got enough friends. Okay. I've got Delilah. That's about as much friends as I really need. Okay. We're here for the truth. We're here for the truth, right? But Nick, hey, if you ever want the truth, you can always call Bullhorn Betty. I'm just saying, before you run stories, you can always pick up the phone and call Bullhorn Betty and just run it by me. I'm a confidential person. I'll never let nobody know that you call, but I got receipts for days, dude. I got a whole file. I got terabytes of receipts for you, legit receipts. So if you really want to know the truth about the case, I'm your girl right here, right here. Okay, Nick? So let's put a plug in the writing
Okay, pick up the phone, call Bullhorn Betty. I'll fact check for you. I already got all the stuff in the right spot. No problem. We don't want you looking like a fool anymore. Okay? So if you want to quit looking like a fool, I'm your girl. I'm your girl all day long. So let's listen to this Yahoo. Let me get to the part where he's starting to espouse how it's not a...
With me, that's okay, because what we're talking about, and I think regardless if there's disagreements, we all are coming from the same place, and that is hoping and praying that somehow Sebastian is found.
And I agree with Nick. I agree with Nick on that. Yeah, I think we're all coming from a place where we do want this child found. I don't know what happened to him. Okay. I don't, he seemed like he was working for the good at the beginning. And if you guys go back and look at his work, you can literally see he's on the same playing field as we are. Okay. And then all of a sudden, this lights video comes out. Okay. And when the lights video comes out, you see this 180 in Nick. And we saw it and caught it early on in the case. And I said, this is why I love not being associated with mainstream media. I won't be associated. It's not that I do have some disdain for some mainstream media, because I think investigative journalism on a mainstream media level is dead anymore. Okay. But with that being said, I still think that there are still some good investigative journalists in mainstream media that I highly respect. And when I talk about mainstream media, those people are separate, because I don't consider them mainstream media. I consider them news, and they are a national news, but for the better part, they are actual investigative journalists. That means they don't mind. Oh, thank you, Lady 7-Up. They don't mind stepping on toes either to get to the bottom of stuff. And that's your Nancy Grace, your Vinnie Politins, your Brian Entons, right? These are people that are mainstream that I have the highest regard for, because they seek the truth. They don't seek the story. And I feel like, Nick, now Nick and I have bad blood, because I care for Seth, I care for Sebastian, I care about this case, and I feel like he's pee-peed all over it, right? So there's a professional, not a personal issue or beef between me and Nick Barris. There's a professional beef between me and Nick Barris, because I am adamant about the truth, and I'm adamant about disclosing it, not what law enforcement wants us to say, because I'm not required to be the talking head of law enforcement. They can do that themselves. What I'm here for is to bring the truth to these cases. And there's a lot of truth to be had that's been silent, that has been chopped up and turned into something that's untrue. And unfortunately, Nick Barris is part of that in this case. Do I think Nick Barris is this horrible, news reporter? I don't have respect for him on a professional level. Okay. That's all it is. But is his heart in do I think Nick Barris want Sebastian not to be found? Of course not. I think he's a reasonable guy. I mean, if we were talking, he's a reasonable guy. I just think he's misguided. And I don't know what's misguiding him, if that makes sense. But I can tell you there's a reason why I will not interview with him, and I will never interview with him, because I don't trust him. Okay? And not only that, but I know who I am as a human being. I know who I am in these cases. And if I'm going to give you my time, because my time is valuable, if I'm going to give you my time, it's going to be when my voice is heard, not when they're wanting to cut my words and drive a narrative or say this or say that. And that's what I can't trust in Nick Barris. And so that's why I don't interview with him. And not only that, but to get an interview with Bullhorn Betty, you're going to work for it, period. Right? But he was out there at our vigil, and he wanted to talk, and I wouldn't talk to him. I actually turned my back on him. And that's because I'm very highly upset with him. Again, on a professional level, not a personal level, because I don't know this man. Do I think he's a complete dirtbag? No, not even close. Okay. But I think he needs to
to stand on his own. That's what I think he needs to do. I think he needs to stand on his own. And I think he needs to speak on his own. Instead of trying to speak for law enforcement, he needs to start speaking for himself. I don't speak for law enforcement. I speak for nobody but myself. Occasionally, I might be privy to something that I may speak on, and that would be the only way. But is this a criminal investigation? I can promise you that we have documentation from Bobby Carter. Is that his name? Bobby Carter. I'll just say, is it Bobby? Bobby Carter? Is that his name?
Carter, yeah. What is his first name?
I can't remember, but I think it's, yeah, I think it, but Detective Carter, you know, to me, I feel like Detective Carter's over it. Just personally speaking, he's the detective running the case. He's the one that's immediately speaking out about this stuff. And I think he's finally, Brandon, thank you, Brandon.
All right.
Brandon Carter. I couldn't remember. I don't know why I couldn't remember. But Brandon Carter, you know, it just seems like he's not allowing stuff to grow legs and heads on it anymore and just, you know, scurry off and cause these big problems. Because when these big problems are made, it's causing a lot, because people pick up the phone and call law enforcement. Like, you literally, like, you've got 20,000 people watching the same thing. If only 1% of those people call law enforcement to tell them what they heard, can you imagine how many phone calls they are getting over one segment? Guys, if you do not have information for law enforcement, you are disrupting a case every time you pick up the phone to speak to them. Every time you call in a lead that isn't really a lead, you're disrupting the process of searching for Sebastian. These need to be legitimate leads. And not only that, but we've got so many different, if you do not know these people and you do not live in this area and you do not have physical evidence and you've watched something on YouTube, don't you think that maybe you just need to stop and pause and say, me calling law enforcement to tell them this is not my place. Okay? If you have information or you overheard something at the Arby's, like you're waiting in line and somebody's talking about something and you overhear it, yeah, you pick up the phone and you call law enforcement immediately. But if you're watching me and I say something salacious on here, it is very foolish for you to think to pick up the phone. First and foremost, if I have something that I think law enforcement doesn't have, they would have it before you would. So just remember that. Just be smart about the utilization, because these people are looking for a child. Their time is valuable, and they don't need all these. Like, these people are going to start calling Sumner County to have me ticketed for my dog. These people should be arrested for false reporting. Any person that sits there and wastes judicial resources and law enforcement resources when we have a child missing is a freaking idiot. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. There isn't anything new. Crabtree said that the other day that the video was old and they had to review it. It was not Sebastian. And that was 10:30, not 12:17. None of this is Sebastian. You want to know why? Because Sebastian was moved at about 3:10 in the morning. That's why. That's why we all know that these things that happened prior to that are nothing burglars. Why? Because we witnessed when he was being removed from the home. That's why. And Nick Barris, this guy right here, is the one that provided that to us. Is the one that provided that to us. We were going to go over the Crystal Rogers case, and I'm going to go over a little bit with you, but we're already creeping up to about an hour. Oops, let me see this. Hold on. Let me see this.
Oh, they want you to sign so check your email.
Yeah, no, text message. I got it.
Oh,
Thank you. Yeah, I was just reading it just now, making sure I didn't miss anything.
Somebody said they sent you an email.
Okay, I will.
All right.
So I was going to go over some of the stuff that I found, and I know you guys couldn't see. Let me see if I can move this in. Where's the Jason Ellis? I think it's on the other camera. So it should be on this computer. Hold on a second. I want to see if I can find a video that I wanted to show you that I think is super, super important related to the Crystal Rogers case. Many of you guys, we're going to kind of dovetail. You guys got my ideas on this, okay? The unscrupulous PI is off base. He was doing fishing. He was trying, law enforcement ain't talking to him or his clients, and they're trying to throw out to see if they can elicit information from law enforcement. That's all this is. That's all this is. And we have several news organizations that are in the area that buy into this nonsense and put it on a platform. And it's nonsense. Why? Because they didn't do their due diligence. And that's Fox, that's WSMV 4 and Fox 17. At least Fox 17 took the time to call the sheriff's department and is the one that put out the information related to law enforcement denouncing that video having anything. It's illegitimate. It has nothing to do with the Sebastian Rogers case. Again, more misinformation, disinformation, and a narrative-driven post, and him going to the outlets to say this is breaking. This could break the Sebastian case wide open, and it's a nothing burger. He's an idiot. I keep saying that. I've been saying that for years. Everybody keeps saying, it's all about who's nice to them. Okay, I'm not a nice person. I'm a good person. Big difference. Big difference. So I don't mind telling people that they're wrong. I have no problem not even sugarcoating it, just breaking their heart. I'm a heartbreaker. What can I say? Heartbreaker. But Nick Barris got this wrong. The unscrupulous PI got this wrong. And WSMV, Channel 4, absolutely got this wrong. But hey, they don't really care about getting things right? They were working for the interview, the one bombshell interview that they've been holding for days to wait for the opportune time to release it, to make the most money, right? The most clicks and views. This is a news organization that's withholding stuff for the opportune time to drop it. Of course. But of course, now you guys know why I can't stand mainstream media. Okay, enough with me. Let's go back and let's find this video. I want you guys to see this. And this is from the Jason Ellis case as opposed to the Crystal Rogers case. And I do kind of starting to feel like for the first time, I'm starting to feel that there is a possibility of them being connected. And you guys know at the beginning, I just couldn't see it. I mean, we looked at bootleggers. We looked at a lot of different things. We've been covering this case for a very, very long time, but we started going back to everything. We started hearing through the grapevine that this was about, grand theft, that she was a witness to some type of grand theft. And I'm like, what kind of grand theft would be there? And everybody was talking about bourbon, and there was a bourbon heist, like $200,000 bourbon heist, but it was in Lexington, Kentucky. And so I was starting to look, even watching and monitoring the drug traffickers, to see if drug trafficking was going through that area, which it was. There was a network of a well-oiled machine network funneling narcotics into the Lexington and Kentucky area. And we found that. But most of those people that had that network had all been picked out, and nobody was related to or connected to the Houck family. And not only that, but out of all the places they went, because they had this funnel of this network of people that funneled the narcotics from the state of Florida up through Kentucky. So you can clearly see the path that they were taking. So long story short, they were trying to say it was grand theft of businesses and everything. And so I started looking into that aspect as well. And there was a woman and her son that were robbed of, she had a hairdressing or a nail salon or something like that, and jewelry was stolen from her or something, like a large sum of personal property that was valued at a high net worth was stolen from her. And that was it. So everything that we looked into related to, Nick and Brooks being, into this large scale theft ring, it doesn't hold water. So, and that the reason why we looked into that is because we were thinking, okay, well, this is really weird because Jason Ellis, which was the police officer that worked with Nick Houck. Nick Houck is the brother of Brooks Houck. Brooke Houck is in prison or in jail right now, accused of murdering Crystal Rogers. But it all started with this new officer. He hadn't been there but a few years. He was from Chicago or some big city and came to this area. And he was not a local for Bardstown. So he was kind of a transplant, if you will. So he has no loyalty to the area, if you get my drift. He was probably one of the only outsiders a part of that department. And he was a true blue police officer. And that particular officer was the one that was ambushed and gunned down. Something doesn't smell. Something doesn't pass the smell test here. And not only that, but when you go back to that day and you learn about all the oddities that nobody would have known except people that were there in that office at that time. You see where I'm getting with this? So then you go there. Everything started with just Jason Ellis. When we start looking at the time frame and putting it together and watching this flow of things, it all started with Jason Ellis. If you look in the history of Bardstown, you don't have this clustering of murders, brutal murders, except in this one area of the history here, where it was from 2013 to 2016. That 3-year area was very, very lethal for this community. Ridiculously lethal. So much so, it's hard not to think that these all didn't have something to do with one another. We know that there was multiple people involved with the Crystal Rogers unaliving, okay? There would have had to have been multiple people that I would assume that would have been involved with Jason Ellis. It is my belief because mom and daughter, Kathy and Samantha Netherland, were both dating people. But those people that they were dating have never been disclosed to the public. I bet you one of their partners, either the moms or the daughters, will probably link back to the house somehow. And they probably knew something that they were not supposed to know. It's possible. Now, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I do know that the mom was a special education teacher and the daughter was a normal 16-year-old girl being raised by a single mom. And then shortly after that, Crystal's unalived. So we have a police officer and then 3 women, ending with another man at the end, Tommy Ballard. Now, again, I'm still working on trying to, this has probably been the closest I've come to believing that these are connected to one another, but it's going to take a lot of deep diving in here. But this community has only 13,000 people. Well, now it's closer to 14,000 since the 2020. So in about 5 years, they've acquired, almost 1,000 people to their community. I was looking at the census and stuff like that. Hey, PS, it's nice to see you, love bug. And that's where we're at with that. So hold on one second. Let me find my iCloud. I'm going to try to pull this up if I can. We have some footage. I need to find the right footage. I meant to look at this and get this up, but now we're going to have to kind of do it together. Where would his be? Hold on, guys. Hold on. I think it might be on this phone here because I remember. I want you guys to see the area. I might have to come back and do it later tonight when I have everything together because I can't find my other phone either. And I thought I downloaded the stuff, but I guess. Ooh, I bet you I did. Hold on. I'm still working it because I know I have to, when I use so many different things, I have to find ways to send all this stuff to myself to put it in the file. So give me a second. I think I did send it to myself on WeTransfer. Let me sign into WeTransfer. Let's see what we got in here. Okay. 13 files. This is it. This is it. So where is the big one? There's 3 more here. Hold on, let me look at them. It's going to take a while to get these downloaded, but we'll let it roll through the downloading. It doesn't look like I'm going to be able to play it. I was going to show you the Jason Ellis ramp because that right there was the most eye-opening for me in this whole entire situation. Like, I think I had already had a preconceived notion, where I believe Crystal Rogers is. But, Crystal Rogers and Tommy Ballard, I think we can kind of put together. That's her father. He was killed on his family farm, a family farm that everybody knew he went to that particular week in the honey season. They knew, somebody knew, especially everybody that knew that man knew that that was his week, that he goes out to the hunting cabin with his grandson to hunt every single year. Okay. So somebody was lying in wait for Tommy Ballard, the last male. Somebody was lying in wait for Jason Ellis, the first male. And then everybody else in between the first and the last seems to be collateral damage, including the last. And I believe that it's possible. Now, could it have been a custom? I don't know. I'm interested in finding out what they think the motivation was for her unaliving, because I think it could be 2 things. It could be all of them, right? It could just be a collection of reasons. But why would she need to be deceased? They weren't married. They had a kid together. I mean, Brooks had millions of dollars. Having to pay $1,000 a month for a child, I don't think, or $1,000 a week for a child, I don't think he would have batted an eye at. I don't think it would have been worth unaliving his child's mother for that. I feel like there's more here. And then you have the law enforcement basically stating that once we have successfully arrested and convicted, this one, it will open up. They seem very confident that it's going to open up other cases that are unsolved, which is pretty interesting. So I'm still here. I'm still working it. I'm going to prepare videos. You guys have to work with me here on these videos because it takes a lot more time than coming live and showing you. So if you guys see me drop videos and you guys are supporters of this channel, please watch those videos and give me your commentary on it. I would greatly appreciate it because the videos, in all fairness, they take a lot more time. I can come on here and spend an hour and go through everything here in an hour without, with only a little bit of time to work to set this up. And then when you go over there, I could be stuck editing for literally 4 hours on one stinking video. It's that time consuming. So if you guys see those coming in, please show Buddy some love. Show Buddy some love. We're out here trying to figure stuff out. Today is a very important day. And we've already hit on it once. Hey, Hindsight, Mama Rissa, it's nice to see you, all my mod squad. It's nice to see you guys. I hope you're doing well. Today is truly the last day that Sebastian Wainwright Rogers was seen by a third party. It's today. So I know people are ready for, tomorrow, and they're getting all their stuff up for the 1-year milestone for Sebastian's disappearance. But let's not forget, it's today. It's today. If we were to rely on our professionals here on these platforms like Peter Hyatt, Jennifer Coffindaffer, Pat Brown, the deception detective,
Other law enforcement like Chris McDonough. We have a lot of professionals that have a lot of experience and accolades in these types of cases. And they're all, and I mean all, basically stating we cannot trust the mom and stepfather, that something happened at around 10 o'clock that night. They believe what triggered that telephone call, that extensive, lengthy telephone call between Chris and Katie. They believe that is the case. So if they believe that something happened to Sebastian around that time of call, that means something happened to Sebastian today, a year ago today, not tomorrow. Yes, he was reported missing, but I truly believe it all comes back to a year ago today. Seth Rogers has been Sebastian's biggest and loudest advocate. There is nothing, even if we sent Katie a bullhorn in the mail, she could never compete with Seth and his love, determination, and dedication to bring his son home safe. I think that family underestimated Seth Rogers in his pursuit to find his son. And the beautiful people, the strong people that stood by his side and pushed him through this. There's a lot of people that have millions more viewers than we do that could have had a big impact. And I'm not going to call them out by name because I do have some respect for them. But I also lost a lot over this case for them as well, because they were the first that broke, the first that backed down. They were the first that showed they had no backbone or balls to handle a case like this. And so they, on my list of, prominent people that I want to, assimilate like or, collaborate with, they're no longer there. Why? Because they have no balls. And if you know anything about me, if you're going to work with me, you got to bring your A game. And these people put the ball away. They're not Bullhorn Betty material. They can have multi-million people in their chat rooms and be they don't have the balls that are needed to be part of this team. I have high regard and high respect for them, but when you get to a certain level, you've made it. You have the opportunity to show more backbone and balls than say somebody in a literal channel. My channel's literal. I hope, while it's medium in the grand scheme of YouTube, and I hope it gets bigger. But I can tell you when we get there and we make it, there's not going to be a whole lot that's going to stop. And one thing I will never do is let my audience dictate to me how I run a case. And a lot of these people, they don't want the drama. What do they think true crime is? They think it's cakewalk, pretty. If you can't stand the drama of one case, why are you here? That's my point. So I hope all those large creators that kind of turned their back on this case, I hope bring it back. And I hope you show that you have backbone, balls, tenacity, passion for the truth, not the clicks and the views. I don't care how big you are. If you're only here for the clicks and the views, you are not Bullhorn Betty material. And I will never, ever associate with people that are here for clicks and views as opposed to the truth. But we don't really associate it with a lot of people because there's a lot of people on here that are just plain crackpots, okay? And so, I do have high regard for them. I know that they know who I'm speaking of when I say that. But I'm just being me and being honest. And I hope they hear me in a very loving way say, you need to have bigger backbone and bigger balls. Right? And I hope they get it back. And I hope they start dribbling this ball again, because we could use their support and we could use their platforms to learn more about Sebastian Rogers' case. And it's a great tool for them to elicit a lot more evidence and information that can be turned over to law enforcement. But they chose to take the bench.
And guess what? We see it. We see it. So anyways, guys, you rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. We will come back later tonight, and I will have those videos. I want you guys to see the Jason Ellis rant. I want you guys to see them. It cleared up a lot for me. It absolutely, like, we knew that it was an ambush. Okay, so we can, but it cleared up a lot for me with where I think this case may potentially be moving towards. So anyways, guys, you guys take care, and we'll see you soon. I love you. Bye-bye. Bye, y'all.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.